Hey agents, and welcome to Shadow Gaming. Today I got an awesome double LMG DPS build for you guys, and I think it might be my best one yet, at least for the LMG builds. But before I get started, remember, if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe and like, and also all the links for my Shadow Crew clan on PC, Xbox, and PS4 and Discord server, along with channel memberships and a lot more, and to support the channel, are all in the pinned comment section below. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it and get started with the build. So for this build, it's mostly crowd control and DPS. It's a lot of both. I really like it, and I've been running it for a few days, and it's just not only fun, but it just gets the job done. So to get started with this, I of course run the gunner specialization. If you're gonna run LMGs, I always recommend the gunner spec. You'll always get that killing enemies, grant you 10% armor, your every third reload is 50% faster, and you generate 10% of total ammo over 60 seconds, and your party members get 5%. But the best thing about the gunner spec is you get that 10% weapon handling while not moving. Now of course you can sit and cover and not move, you can stand and not move. Either way, you're getting that 10% weapon handling, which basically for us is giving us that 10% reload speed we want on that slow reloading Pestilence and the second LMG, of course. So jumping right into it, the Pestilence can be the primary or secondary way that you use this build. I personally like the Neg EV because I put In-Sync on it. Hitting an enemy grants 15% skill damage for 5 seconds and 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds if you're using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill. Now that's why I run the Striker drone. Now when you launch the Striker drone, you get that In-Sync talent, and then of course as it's attacking NPCs or players, you also get that 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds as long as it's shooting an NPC or player. So this is usually up, although you're at skill tier 0, it usually drops pretty quick, but it's usually up long enough for it to actually make a difference in the battlefield. So that's why I run In-Sync, and I just personally like the Neg EV. It depends, I guess, on what you want to run. You could run something else if you want, but this is what I chose, what I like the most. And of course, with the gunner spec, you get the plus 50 rounds large pouch, which I always recommend running on any LMG that you can modify. Of course, the Pestilence is something that I didn't think about at first until I noticed I was trying to mark everything with the Negotiator's Dilemma mark. Once I noticed that I was mostly doing this crowd control where I was marking all the enemies all around me, I realized, okay, well, this is kind of like the Pestilence. Well, I'm using LMGs, I should just use the Pestilence. And that's what I did, and I ended up really liking it. Although it doesn't deal as much damage or as quickly as the Neg EV with the In-Sync talent, you can run both on this build. It doesn't matter, so I just decided to end up running both. You get that debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds, which stacks up to 50 times, and whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. Now, for this build, it's pretty simple and it shouldn't be too hard to put together, depending on how new of a player you are. For the Coyote's mask, and this goes for all 6 gear pieces, I'm always running weapon damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. Really nothing else but those 3. The Coyote's mask gives you pack instincts, so you get 25% crit hit damage if you kill anyone from 0 to 15 meters, and then 15 to 25 meters you get 10% of crit hit damage and chance. You're never really going to be taking enemies down after 25 meters, so you're going to be getting that 25% crit hit damage usually, and then the other half of the time you'll be getting that 10% crit hit chance and crit hit damage mix. Either way, it's really good, and it really just kind of stacks up for me to be close to that 60%. On the Pestilence, I was able to get my crit hit chance almost to 60. It's at 51.5%. And then for the Neg EV, I actually do have it all the way at 60% crit hit chance, and I'm running at 149% crit hit damage. Now that's a lot for me. That's actually just as much as I have like on my TU10 Focus FAMAS DPS build, and that thing hits like a truck. So this thing also hits really hard. For the other 4 pieces of Negotiator's Dilemma I always run the chest and backpack pieces. You get 2 pieces 15% crit hit chance, 3 pieces 20% crit hit damage, and then the 4 pieces you get hostile negotiations, so critical hits mark enemies for 20 seconds up to 3 marks total. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of the damage dealt. And of course, with the chest piece, or the backpack, sorry, the chest piece you get from 3 to 5, and then for the backpack, it goes from 60% of the damage dealt to 100%. And whenever a marked enemy dies, you gain 2% crit hit damage, and it stacks up to 20 times or until combat ends. Of course, I run 1 crit hit chance mod, and then I run 2 crit hit damage mods on top of those. I don't need too much crit hit chance. I could add one more 5-6% crit hit chance mod and get it all the way up to 60 almost, which is probably what I would recommend actually. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Throw on another 5% crit hit chance mod, and then of course we got almost 60% crit hit chance. Now for the final piece, I use Grupo Sombro. It gives us that extra 15% crit hit damage, and like I do with all other pieces, I roll 15% weapon damage on it, and then 6% crit hit chance, 12% crit hit damage. For this build, that's what you want to do. You want to stack everything into crit hit chance and crit hit damage. That's what this build is. That's what Negotiator's Dilemma is. Now, over time, even with the crowd control, you end up just taking out the whole room if you're solo. And if you're in a group, you still kind of take out most of the whole room, but you got to make sure to go up to the enemies and mark them. And I usually stay decently far away. That's why the Coyote's Mask comes into play. You get that usually 15 to 25 meters at usually around 10 or 15 meters probably. I'm there firing with my light machine gun, either the Pestilence or the Neg EV, with the striker drone out, with the In-Sync talent, and it all just blends together really nicely. And then of course the ticks go a little bit over 1 million per tick for the Pestilence, so it's just doing so much damage everywhere, and I just love it. Anyway guys, I hope you like the build. Remember, subscribe and like if you enjoy the content. Join the Discord server today, and also check the pinned comments below. Check out all the other links I got for you guys. Alright guys, take care. Agent Shadow signing on.
Give him an ear. Coming in over the edge. Keep your heads down. Gonna make a hole. Medical assistance needed.